Narcissists sell us on a sort of counterfeit version of love. And then they have us desperately chasing after this counterfeit love while we're in relationships with them. This can cause a lot of damage to our ability to recognize and trust real, genuine love long after the narcissist is gone. And in this video, I want to try to help anyone struggling with this reconnect with their ability to understand what love is worth having, and how the narcissist's idea of your need to earn their love is completely backwards and has absolutely nothing to do with love at all. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. I think that all of us know deep down what real love is and isn't, but a narcissist can confuse this part of us so much that we can become completely out of touch with what we know true love is and isn't. And this can cause us to desperately seek after something that really isn't as valuable as we've been tricked into thinking it is. Basically, it can have us caught in this endless cycle of desperately trying to earn love from somebody who really has never shown us any real love in the first place. And even if we move on from these relationships, we can remain stuck in this mentality that love is something that we have to work really hard to earn, and something that we have to work continually to earn. I think a lot of people struggle with this, and maybe some people might say a lot of people struggle with this and it's not just because you are in a relationship with a narcissist. But I think that if this is something you struggle with, this idea that you're not worthy of love unless you're constantly doing something to earn it, I think at some point somebody had to teach you this, either on purpose or subconsciously by the way they were treating you. Somehow at some point in your life, you got the message that you're not good enough to receive love all on your own, just the way you are. You have to be doing something. You have to be proving something. You have to be earning love in order to deserve it. And narcissists definitely make people feel this way by the way they treat them. And this is because of the way narcissists actually do view love. Narcissists treat you the way that they feel they should based on what their idea of love is. And then if you spend enough time in any kind of relationship with them, the beliefs that they have can rub off on you. And just like the narcissist's point of view, this will rub off on you as a double standard, where you don't feel like other people have to constantly earn your love, but you come to believe that you have to constantly earn theirs. In this video, I'm going to go over several core beliefs that narcissists can ingrain in you when you've been in relationships with them for too long. And the first core belief is that love has to be earned, like I've been saying. And the reason that narcissists can ingrain this belief in you is because they do feel like you have to earn their love. Because narcissists view everybody for their utility. You have no value to a narcissist if you're not doing something for them. Even if all you're doing is making them feel good about themselves, feeding their ego. I mean, that's something, right? Or maybe you're doing all their laundry, or maybe you're paying their rent, whatever. If you're not doing something for them, you have no value as a human being. You have no value to them for who you are. Your only value is in what you do for them. And when you're in any kind of a relationship with a narcissist, after time, this can become apparent. Even if you're not consciously aware of it, they just teach you through the way they treat you that this is the reality. You have to be doing things for them all the time, or their love will disappear. Like it's constantly running down a drain that you have to constantly have the water on in. And just to give some specific examples, I think if you're a child of a narcissist, maybe your narcissistic parent expected you to be very athletic. So you felt like you had to perform athletically and you really had to hit certain marks in order to be good enough to earn their acceptance and love. Or maybe you had to get really good grades. Maybe that was the thing you had to do to earn love and acceptance from your parent. Or maybe you just had to keep your room clean. Or maybe you had to learn how to cook, or maybe you had to play the piano for people that would come over. Whatever it was, there was something that you had to do or be continuously, something you had to work at in order to earn this love and acceptance that you never really receive. You know, you get little pieces of it here and there, but you never really fully arrive in a place where you are loved and accepted the way you are. You have to continually do things. If you're in a romantic relationship with a narcissist, it might be chores you're doing around the house. Maybe you're expected to learn how to cook. Maybe you're expected to clean every night. Or if it's a romantic relationship, or maybe it's just a friendship, maybe you're expected to participate in things that you really don't care for. Maybe you're supposed to watch movies you don't really like, or play a certain sport they like with them that you don't really like. You're expected to do these things for them, or else they won't love you. They won't accept you. Now, this can be really confusing for some of us because there is a correlation. I mean, if I am in a relationship with somebody and I love that person and they just love bird watching, let's say, and I am not interested in bird watching, but they love it. Maybe I'll go bird watching with them because that's something that they like to do and I love them, so I want to be there and share this experience with them for them, right? And I think that when we're in a relationship with a narcissist, we can get this really mixed up. When we're in a relationship with a narcissist, we'll go bird watching in order to be good enough to earn their love. Because if we don't go with them, they won't love us anymore. At least this is what's going on in our head, right? And we might tell ourselves, I'm going bird watching with this person because I love them. But really, it's because you're afraid they won't love you if you don't go. Whereas in a healthier relationship, you genuinely are going bird watching because you love this person. Not because you're afraid they're going to stop loving you if you don't go. And we can easily get these things confused and think that we're doing things out of love when we're actually doing things out of fear. In a healthy relationship, love comes first. Love isn't earned through doing things. Love is earned, which it's not earned, but love is earned by just who we are as a person. And then the bird watching comes after that. The bird watching isn't in order to be loved, in order to create love. The bird watching is because we already love this person. Love comes first, and then the acts of service, then the sacrifices, then the time we spend, the things we do. We clean the house, we cook dinner, we give of our time. We do these things because we love someone and because they love us. We don't do it so that we will be loved, so that we will be good enough to earn love, because we already deserve love just as we are. And I know this, for me, this is still a concept I struggle with. I recently did a reel on Instagram and TikTok and all the other platforms I'm on where I gave this example that I'm going to give here. So maybe you've already heard this, but I want you to think about somebody that you love and care about, and really take a minute to really think about who this person is. Maybe it's your child or a friend or a family member. Maybe it's a sibling or just somebody that you care about. When you think about this person, you think, I genuinely love and care about this person. If you've got that person in your head, now imagine that this person lives with you, whether they really do or not. Imagine they live with you, and imagine that they sit around and do nothing, that they just watch TV and make a mess, and they don't help you clean, they don't help you pay the bills, they don't help with the chores, they just sit around, and it's just the worst case of just doing nothing to help. it's really bad, right? Now, this is really aggravating for most people. This would probably make you really angry, right? This isn't okay. But when you imagine this happening, do you feel like you would stop loving this person, assuming that they're still the same person, but for whatever reason, they're being really super lazy? No, you might want to kick them out. You might not want to live with them anymore, but you're not going to stop loving them as long as they're still the same person that you love and care about. Love doesn't just disappear because you're annoyed and angry at somebody. And love doesn't just disappear because somebody isn't doing things to help you out and doing things to earn that love. I know for me, that exercise was really helpful, so I wanted to share it with all of you. Now I want to talk about the second core belief that a narcissist can instill inside of us, and that is the idea that love is very fragile. When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, there is this constant feeling that the love, or what we think of as the love, could just vanish at any moment for any reason. And we also feel this way when we are afraid of asking them for something or afraid of telling them something, because we feel like the love is just going to vanish. And we might not put it in those words in our head, but we're constantly walking on eggshells. And that's really what it is because when something sets them off, when we breathed the wrong way or we put our shoes in the wrong place, their whole demeanor changes. And in those moments where the narcissist is really angry with us, there is no love in that room. There is no compassion, no empathy, no understanding. And even if we don't think of it in those words, the love is gone. And over time, this can make us believe that love is very fragile, that it could disappear at any moment for any reason, when in reality, love is not fragile at all. When you truly love and care about somebody, it takes a lot to destroy that love. Think about the person that I just brought up in the previous example, the person that you love and care about, and think about what it would take for you to stop loving that person. It would probably take a lot more than them just leaving their towel in the wrong place, right? When we're in a relationship with a narcissist, we have this constant subconscious, maybe unconscious knowledge that the love could disappear at any second. But in reality, there was never any real love present in the first place, because if there was, it wouldn't be so fragile. So we're living with somebody that's giving us a counterfeit, shallow version of love intermittently. And then in moments where this person's upset, suddenly it becomes very apparent that there really isn't any love in this relationship in the first place. And some of us, when we're in this type of relationship, we might perceive it as thinking something to ourselves like, I know this person really loves me, but it seems like they don't when they act like this. And really, I know this can be a really painful thing to come to terms with, but in my opinion, when you're thinking things like that, you're probably dealing with somebody who really doesn't love you, because people that really love you act like they love you. And they don't just act like they love you sometimes. I was in a relationship a long time ago when I was pretty young. And this was my first husband. And I remember thinking at times, he's acting like he hates me. I remember thinking that. And then I remember thinking, but he doesn't. I know he loves me, because he told me he loves me and he married me. Obviously he loves me, right? But he's acting like he hates me. And it wasn't until years after the relationship ended that I looked back and I was like, oh, he really did hate me at times. As unfair and hurtful and nonsensical as it was, he truly was showing me that at least in the moments when he was angry, there was real hatred. Even if it was just projection, that was not someone that loved me in any meaningful way. And I know love is subjective too. For a lot of people, especially people with parents that they don't get a lot of genuine love from, you're going to hear a lot of people saying things like, well, they love you in their own way, or, oh no, of course they love you, they just have a hard time expressing it. And we can't really argue this objectively, right? Who knows how anyone defines what love actually is and who actually loves you. But in my opinion, if somebody loves you in a way that they're nice to you sometimes, and then in an instant they can be treating you like they are your worst enemy, I don't know how much that kind of love is worth to me, especially after everything I've been through at my age. If that's how somebody that loves me is going to treat me, I'd rather find someone that loves me in a way that doesn't have me walking on eggshells and constantly worried that they're suddenly going to start hating me at any minute for any reason. Is love that is fragile and is love that could turn into hatred at any minute worth it? Is that worth having? Is it worth the risks you put yourself at? Is it worth all the pain? And is it worth all the time and energy that you constantly have to put into earning that kind of love? I don't think so. The third core belief is kind of related to the first two, and that is that love is constantly disappearing. I referred earlier to the idea that this love is constantly going down a drain and you have to keep the water on in this basin in order to keep the love there because it's constantly disappearing. And of course, this is why you have to constantly be earning it. You have to constantly renew this love because it's like disappearing ink that you have to constantly rewrite all the time. It's always going away. Narcissists lack object permanence, and they don't really know you as a person. They don't have a concept of you and your autonomy and your identity. So from their perspective, this really is what it's like. Their, quote, love for you is constantly disappearing, especially when you're not right in front of them. So this is something that has to constantly be renewed. And also because their love for you is not based on who you are, which is a permanent thing or a semi-permanent thing. It's based on how you make them feel. So if they're in a bad mood, then yeah, they don't love you anymore. And if they're in a good mood, well, now they love you again. It has nothing to do with you or how they actually feel about you. It has to do with how they feel about themselves and what kind of mood they're in. So their love is constantly disappearing and does have to constantly be renewed by you doing things for them. Even if the things you're doing for them are things that they are just imagining that you are or are not doing, which you have no control over. Real love, or the kind of love that I think is worth having, takes time to build as someone gets to know you and who you are. And it takes a lot to destroy that love. It's not something that just fades away as the clock ticks for no reason. I can think of people that I have not seen in 20 years that when I think of that person, I know that I still have love for that person because of who that person is and how I feel when I think about them and the memories that I had of them and because of who they are or who they were when I knew them. But that love is still there. For a narcissist, it's a constant case of what have you done for me lately? Because it has nothing to do with who you are. And from their perspective, love does have to be constantly earned. Now, I know that all of this might make sense to you, but it's still really hard to undo these deeply ingrained beliefs of having to earn love and not being worthy of love until you've done something for somebody. But I want to leave you with some thoughts of what love means to me and why I love certain people, in hopes that you can connect with this and over time come to fully internalize the belief that you are good enough just the way you are. You don't have to do anything special other than just be yourself in order to deserve love from people. For me, love is about what I see when I look in someone's eyes, their spirit, their smile, the way they laugh, the way they talk to their dog or their cat. Maybe it's about their insecurities or their little quirks, the funny things that they worry about, their vulnerabilities, their values, the things that are important to them, their sense of humor, the things that they struggle with, maybe the victories they've had in their life and their heartbreaks, what makes them them, the way they talk about things, the way they think about things. And it's about the humanity that I can see, that I can connect with when I look into their eyes, when I'm speaking with them, when I'm connecting. That's what makes me love certain people, with people that I can say that I feel that I love. It's about who they are as a person to me. It's not about how much they clean or how good their grades are or how much time they spend cooking for me or whether or not they let me borrow their car. Those things can be part of how to express love, but they're not part of where love comes from. And I hope that you can see that you deserve love because you are a person, because you're a human being, because you are you, and there is nothing else required of you. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.